It's day 7 of our bucket list Alaska cruise aboard the Viking Venus, and we're sailing through the breathtaking wonder of Glacier Bay National Park. Grab your favorite drink, settle in, and join us as we glide quietly through some of the most awe-inspiring scenery we've ever seen. Along the way, I'll share a few fun facts and personal moments from this unforgettable day. Our original itinerary had us stopping at Icy Strait Point today, but shortly before it was time to book excursions, we got a surprise update. Instead, we'd be sailing into Glacier Bay National Park, and let me tell you, we were thrilled. Even with the fog clinging to the peaks and clouds hiding the sun, the views were still amazing. There are roughly 24 named glaciers that are monitored by the U.S. Geological Survey, and during our slow cruise, we saw 3 of them. Each one a tidal glacier, meaning it flows from the mountains all the way to the sea. Our first glacier of the day was the Grand Pacific Glacier. It's one of the largest in the park, about 35 miles long and 2 miles wide. Unlike the bright blue glaciers we'll see later, Grand Pacific looks dark and rocky because it picks up tons of debris as it moves. That debris actually insulates the ice underneath. And even though it's been retreating for decades, it still moves at about 4 feet per day. We weren't the only ones enjoying the view of the Grand Pacific Glacier. A few curious seagulls flew by our balcony, clearly hoping for a snack. They landed on a couple of balconies, squawking and giving that look. I see food in there.
You got room service.
Give me some of that bacon. But don't worry, no one fed them, no matter how persuasive they were. Our second stop was at Margerie Glacier, right next door to the Grand Pacific Glacier, and she was a showstopper. It's about 21 miles long and more than a mile wide. Its ice wall rises 250 feet above the water, with another 100 feet hidden below. It moves at about 6 feet per day, and if you're lucky, you might catch a dramatic calving event. That's when a chunk of the glacier breaks off and crashes into the bay. And here's a public service announcement for you. As you get closer to the glaciers, the temperature drops noticeably, even if it starts out mild. Layers are your best friend out here.
And it's real cold out there, so I'm all bundled up.
I'll drop a link in the description of the outerwear we packed that kept us nice and warm while enjoying every moment outside. What makes visiting Glacier Bay so special is only 3 cruise ships are allowed in the park per day, and only 2 cruise ships can be in the park at the same time. In fact, cruise lines must be granted a special permit by the National Park Service. As of this recording, only a handful of cruise lines are authorized: Princess Cruises, Holland America Line, Seabourn, Cunard, and of course, Viking. Every permitted ship hosts a park ranger, whose role is to provide educational insight about the park's history, wildlife, and glaciers, and to ensure the ship follows strict environmental guidelines while sailing through the park. On our Viking cruise, those insights were also shared over the ship's PA system and broadcast on the stateroom TVs, which made it easy to follow along from anywhere on board. Unfortunately, I wasn't up in time to see the rangers transfer to the ship like I did the pilot when we entered Alaskan waters. When I stepped out on the balcony at 7 a.m., they were already on board and ready to start the day. Because Glacier Bay is a protected area, there are strict environmental rules in place. When I moseyed down to the library bar with my reusable cup carrier and tried to get 2 cups of coffee to go, I was told they couldn't serve in disposable containers while in the park. And juggling 2 full-size coffee cups with saucers and no lids? Not gonna happen. Down to the restaurant we went, a small price to pay to help keep this pristine ecosystem protected. I'll provide a link to Glacier Bay National Park's website if you want to learn more about the park's history, glaciers, and regulations. While most of the ship crowded the top decks to hear the Rangers live, we chose something different. Quiet solitude on our balcony. We listened to the broadcast from our stateroom TV, sipped warm drinks, and just let the wonder of Glacier Bay surround us. It was peaceful, personal, and honestly, kind of magical. We really enjoy our time together in nature, away from the crowds. Glacier Bay is teeming with wildlife. Since we went early in the season, we didn't spot any bears, seals, or moose, but we did see a humpback whale, and a sea otter. Did you know sea otters have the densest fur of any animal on the planet? Up to 1 million hairs per square inch. For comparison, we humans only have about 1,000 hairs per square inch. For this reason, they were almost hunted to near extinction. Our last glacier visit of the day was Lamplugh Glacier. It's just under a mile wide, around 165 feet tall, and flows about a foot per day. Its bluish ice contrasts beautifully with the rugged, rocky surroundings, and because the fog was beginning to burn away, we could see its bluish coloring better than we could at the Margerie Glacier. It was amazing to watch these glaciers in almost total silence. With the exception of a few moments of loud talking by some balcony dwellers, we could really hear the sound of the ship gliding through the water and the small chunks of ice that capped off the glaciers gently bumping the hull. One of the criteria that needs to be met for a chunk of ice to be classified as an iceberg, the height of the ice must be greater than 16 feet above sea level. The smaller bits of ice are known as Bergy bits and Growlers. A Bergy bit's height is generally greater than 3 feet but less than 16 feet above sea level. Growlers are even smaller fragments of ice and are roughly the size of a truck or grand piano. They extend less than 3 feet above sea level. This entire park is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognized for its natural beauty and its importance to understanding glacial processes. UNESCO stands for the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. And UNESCO World Heritage Sites are landmarks or areas with legal protection due to their cultural, historical, and scientific significance. Glacier Bay was the best itinerary substitution we could have received. It's something we'll never forget. Thanks for joining us. I hope this video gave you a reason to add Glacier Bay to your bucket list. If you made it this far with me, here's a sneak peek at day 8. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you for more scenic sailing in Yakutat Bay.